Hey, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the ADL320 channel. If you're with us, just doing a quick little test streaming flight, actually, to test out my stream setup. Do this every now and then when I get some config changes. And without further ado, just going to do a short flight tonight in the Fenix A320 from Portland up to Seattle. Sat here at the gate, Charlie 11, and on the ground at Portland. As you can see, it's a little bit rainy tonight. I am getting some choppiness tonight, so I'm sure, again, reason why I'm doing testing on the setup side. I might need to make some adjustments here, but anyhow, that's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and get the flight configured. I've actually set up a sim brief route for us tonight. Pretty straightforward route. We'll go ahead and use the AOC functionality to import the flight data information and load up the MCDU with our route and get packs loaded, and I'll do a short abbreviated loading process for us and then get underway. So I'm not going to do a ton of talking tonight. I'm just going to get straight away into the pre-flight planning. Of course, obviously, if you have questions on anything, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll be able to get back to you or drop us something live here while we're streaming. So anyway, we're going to get underway at the gate and get everything loaded up and get us started here so we can get off the ground on time here tonight. First thing I'm going to do is just head down into my right MCDU and just go ahead and grab the flight information. I already previously loaded it, so it's going to be the same thing that'll come up. But since I started the sim about an hour or two ago, I've just been sitting here. I want to just get the latest flight data information, and there we go. So we've got it updated, and then I'll just come up to the left MCDU. I've already initialized all the IRSs, so I'm just going to do a request on the route and get us all the data that we need. And then from there, I can go ahead and pull in the information from SimBrief. Now, I could, of course, use the MC or the EFB for this, but in my case, I've got SimBrief up on my iPad, and it's just a lot easier and saves me the time of having to go back and forth to pull that information in. So I'm just going to use my iPad, which you guys obviously can't see, and I'll use that to get underway here.
Portland International Airport ATIS information echo 0300 Zulu Special. Wind 010 at 3. Visibility 3. Light rain, mist. To cloud 7,100. Ceiling 2,500 Rogan. 4,200 overcast. Temperature 17. Dew point 16. Altimeter 2991. ILS, runway 28 right approach in use. Warning, runway 3 has been shortened. First 3,000 feet available for arrivals only. Notices to airmen. Attention all aircraft. 5G modems in effect for Portland Airport. For further information, contact flight service frequencies. Use caution. Parachute jumping activities on Timbers arrival. Between Vance and Flower. Runway 10 right, 2. 8 left closed. Taxiway Tango closed between gates Charlie 17 and Bravo 3. Caution for increased bird activity. Hazardous weather information for Portland International Airport area available from flight service frequencies. Tower frequency on runways 123.77. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
Alright, so information echoes current. Glad I checked because I was planning on 10 left, but looks like they're actually going to be using 28 right for departure tonight. So we'll continue with the programming. We'll get the initial flight route up there. We'll program an alternate, and we'll do an emergency RTB return to base in the MCDU if we need to. That'll be the next steps we'll cover here in just a sec. Okay, we'll start with a fast load tonight. 161 planned passengers and 5,500 pounds of cargo, and looks like about 10,000 pounds of fuel. Quite a lot to get us up just to Portland, but should be good enough for reserves as well. So liking where that stands, but we'll go ahead and get the boarding started, and we'll continue with the programming.
Central aircraft information, Foxtrot now current, Portland altimeter 29901, wind 080 at 5, SE for the ceiling, broken 1,300.
Ground Alaska 419, taxi with Fox.
Alaska 419, runway 28 right, taxi via Tango Alpha.
Tango Alpha 28 right, Alaska 419.
Ramp Horizon 2396 Bravo 7 Foxtrot Plus.
72396, Portland ground, hold of the gate, be just a minute for traffic.
Ground Delta 999 with Fox.
Calling ground standby. Go 3408, if they're going to push you tail to the east like that, it's going to cause you a huge delay. Last time this happened, we had to wait for airfield to get out here to have the plane towed through that closed area ahead. So if you can, have them turn you around tail to the west. Roger. Delta 999, runway 28 right, taxi via Kilo Alpha 5, full short of Alpha.
Kilo Alpha 5, full short of Alpha, Delta 999.
Ground ISO tow complete.
ISO tow, roger, thanks, have a good night. Horizon 9987, continue via Bravo 3, Tango, Kilo, Victor Alpha.
Right, Sydney taxi via Bravo 3, Tango, Kilo, Victor Alpha, Horizon 9987.
Delta 999, continue via Alpha 5, Alpha, follow Alaska.
Alpha following them out. 999.
I'm going onto the second ended page to get the weights in. Technically, I should really wait until I have my final load sheet, but just to get some preliminary numbers in, I'll go ahead and enter in the initial load sheet, which we should have up now, and then Of course, once boarding is completed, we'll have the final loads, and we'll go ahead and make any adjustments that are necessary.
Sub 999, sorry, Mr. Verify information, Foxtrot. Thank you.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and sit here at the AOC receive messages page and then the performance page, since that's what we're waiting for, final weights while the loading is underway. Got 106 passengers on board, so just a little bit of time to go yet. Meantime, we'll go ahead and get the rest of the aircraft ready to go. We'll go ahead and get the APU started up now and get that going. So we'll just reach up to the overhead and get our fuel pumps on to begin with. And we're not fueling at the moment, so we're all good there, but we're going to just get the APU fired up here. Just get the master switch on, give it the 3-second wait for the computer to get situated, and then we can go ahead and hit start.
For the ground, Polaris 938 is runway 2 right on tango.
Polaris 938 on ground, take 8.
Polaris 938 on tango, leading runway 2 right.
Polaris 938, taxi via Tango to the gate, and you say parking Delta 10.
Parking Delta 10, Polaris 938, continue via tango.
Roger, thanks, have a good night. 12 slow ground. Present 2241 Portland, clear to Seattle Airport. Portland 2 departure, then as filed. Maintain 6,000. Departure frequency 124.35. Correction, departure frequency 118.1. Squawk 4745. Present 2241, the reback correct. There's slow to Seattle. What time are you push?
Okay, APU started. Just to keep the load off, we'll since we're still at the gate and still boarding, we'll go ahead and keep off we'll let it run off of the external power, and we'll keep the air bleeds off for this point, since we've got air hooked up to the aircraft at this point in time. Conditioned air, we got the preconditioned air hooked up, so we're good. We'll just keep the strain off the APU for now until we need it.
Skywest 3408, runway 2A right, taxi via Bravo 6, Bravo, Bravo 3, Tango, Alpha.
Runway 28 right via Bravo 6, Bravo, Bravo 3, Tango, Alpha, Skywest 3408.
Roger 2241, the wheels up 0420. Roger 2241, 0420.
Okay, so it looks like boarding is complete. Turn the brightness down here. We're going to go back to the EFB, and we'll just go ahead and check our boarded weights. Since this is a live, as they say, the weight and balance is a live simulation. So we'll go ahead and check that against the what we've got entered in here. So 0 fuel weight at 131.0, and again, these can change because, as I understand, Phoenix can simulate, you know, extra passengers coming on, or you know, not making it, or letting it, you know, bags being boarded late or things like that. So we're at 131.062, 131.0 down below as well. 31.1, 31.0 on the 0 fuel weight, so that did change the CG. 31.0 with fuel, so we're 30.8 here. Gross weight of 141. So we'll go ahead and make those updates when we get the final load sheet in here, which should match this here. So I'm going to go ahead and just make those revisions now. So we're at 31.0, 30.8. And confirm we're at 10,000 on the fuel, so we'll just put 10 on that. It's not 10.1. Should burn down a little bit of that as well. And so that should give us a takeoff weight of 140.6. And we'll check that over here. Gross weight 141.1. But we're looking for the takeoff weight because naturally we're going to burn some fuel on the way over there. So we can go back to the performance page here and take a look at that. And in the meantime, let's see, we might have our load sheet in now. Still not yet. It takes a couple minutes to get that in, but I think it's already pre-set. Just waiting for AOC to get it through. So takeoff weight of 140.9. Let's see, 140.6. A little bit off. Again, that may be due to some additional bag weights or something that we're missing here. So we got to get that set. But before I even do that, I'm going to just go ahead and get my fuel information in here as well. So all right, so we have alternate fuel of 3.2, and we have a final time of, let's see, final reserve here is 2.3. So 5.5, math adds up, so destination fuel, it all looks good. So back over to the EFB here. So we've loaded the final load sheet. We're going to be doing a takeoff here at a runway 28 right. Surface is wet because it is raining at the moment. Packs will be on. Won't need to have any ice at this point. Let's just see here and check the temperature. 17 degrees. So no, we don't need any ice for it at 10 degrees or colder. We'd have any ice on, but
ground grab 2458, push up, Bravo 8.
So 40.9, there's a final load sheet, so we can kind of check with that. So takeoff weight 40.9, 131.1.
Company, push approved for 2 right horizon, 2458.
We're going to use these here. CL fuel weight CG is 30.8. Blocks 10. We should be good there. 40.7 is our takeoff fuel, or takeoff weight rather. 140.9, so it's a little off there. Let's just check over here. 40.9, yep. That's a calculated field, so I can't change that. But 140.9 is heavier than that, so we're going to account for that when we run the calculations here. So we've got all the right numbers in here for us here. We'll sync the live weather. We'll go ahead and hit calculate. And quite a low V1, 13, 40, and 40. Go back up to the perf page. And we've got, let's see, a flap is 1, 0.4, and 59.
Horizon 2396, runway 28 right, taxi via Bravo 6, Bravo, hold short of Bravo 4.
Okay, clean speed, green dot is 213, and we've got 250 managed in here, so we're gonna put 213 in the pre-selected phase here for us. 16,000 to cruise, fuel predicted 4.5, so we are good there. The flight plan, good, we've accepted our weights, so now we can come back over to the performance page, our flight plan page here, and we'll leave the performance page up over here. And we'll finish off with the rest of this here, so let's get the airplane ready to get out of here. Beacon lights coming on, seatbelts on. Go ahead and now disengage external power and get the APU bleeds on, and very quickly we'll get the ground clue to disconnect the preconditioned air, because we do not want to run both preconditioned air and APU together. So we'll get rid of that, get rid of the GPU, and
President 2458 cost per company taxi behind
jetway's already gone, so we're good there. Chocks and cones can go away. Go ahead and connect up the pushback tug.
President 2396, continue via Bravo 3 Tango.
Get our transponder turned on. Beacon lights on, set for initial altitude, 8,000, good there. Climb nav blue, good, 8,000 set, 140 V1, our speed set, 113 V1. Our flight's all good. 2991 set in the box, 2991 not set there. All right. So again, just doing an abbreviated run here, not trying to be super thorough here tonight, just get us underway. So we're ready to go. We're going to get a pushback here and get ready for start. Oh, and actually need to release the parking brakes would be a help there, so that was my bad on that. We did earlier notice that we had a low accumulator pressure, but that was resolved during the boarding process when the cargo doors open. That ran the yellow electric pump, which then recharged our accumulator pressure, put the triple gauge back into the green.
Got 498 with you on Tango Echo 4.
All right, 498 point ground, taxi via Tango Kilo to the gate.
Tango Kilo to the gate, United 498.
So again, apologies for the choppiness. I know it's also because I'm on the ground and I've got photogrammetry turned back on again, which I should have turned off. It makes quite a difference in MSFS for me on my system when I have photogram turned off. So should have done so, but we'll suffer for a little bit until we get airborne, and I think things will smooth out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and do the start process here in just a second.
President 2396, continue via Tango Alpha 6.
Report the tower.
Alpha 6 now.
Alpha 6 Alpha.
Ground has 24, gate taxi to Foxtrot.
2458.
So just one note on the start process, I've noticed the Phoenix is just a little bit of some performance issues on the gauges. I don't know whether it's a gauge indicator. I think us, the folks at Phoenix have confirmed that this is a challenge with the way the engine in simulation in the Sobos or in the flight simulator itself works. But if you notice, my N1 will stabilize here at about 18.3%. The N2 will also stabilize, and the fuel flow stabilize, yet my EGT is still climbing, which is definitely not accurate, not proper. We should have basically indications of about 2466 on these when the engine is stable. So that's 20% N1, 400 EGT, about 600 on the N2, and about 60% on the N2 and about 600 on the fuel flow. So we're pretty close to that, with the exception of the in one, which again is a little bit off, but the rest of it would indicate a normal start sequence. It's just the timing of it is off, and even as you know, everything's stabilized now. We're still waiting for that avail light to show up, and that comes on really late in the sequence. So just some cleanup work to do around there, but I think, you know, I understand there's some challenges on the Asobo side to help get that fixed. So we'll get that going, get the first engine, the next engine started, and we'll complete the process here. Alright, we heard the clunk of the electronics clicking over to the engine onboard gens, and everything switching off of the APU now. Just waiting for the avail light, even though I know it's late. I still want to wait until that comes up before we clean everything else up. And once we do so, it should be coming here in just a second. Yep, there we go, avail. So we're going to go master switch back to normal. We're going to immediately come up stairs and take off the APU bleed, shut off the APU. Drop one back down, arm the speed brakes, and we're going to get our flaps set for config 1. And then we'll do our control check.
Horizon 2458, continue via Tango Kilo Victor Alpha.
Continue Tango Kilo Victor Alpha, Horizon 2458.
Horizon 2458, join Tango Bravo 3.
Join Tango Bravo 3, Horizon 2458, thanks.
And we'll set our trim for down 0.4. Okay. Hit our rudder trim reset. Master, auto brake is max. Quick release. Transponder set. Go ahead and get our taxi light on. And I'm going to spare everybody the noise of the windshield wipers. Yeah, I know it looks cool, but it's rather annoying to hear that sound, and I'll spare everybody the issue there. So we're going to just get ourselves taxied, get our clearance here, and taxi on over to 28.
1807 heavy, ground, push back your discretion, expect runway 28 right.
Looks like the AI has a mind of its own here, and they're coming in on east operations here onto the 10s. But we're trying to run real world ops here on this one. So airport operation says 28 right. That's where we're heading.
Giant 3800 Portland ground,
Taxi via Tango and hold short of Echo 2. Expect a momentary delay here for traffic pushing in the south ramp. We're going to get them out, and then we'll get you in after that.
Tango, hold short at Echo 2. Portland ground, last minute 483. Portland ground. Last minute 483, push back your discretion, and then you can proceed under tow at your discretion to Charlie 7. Just advising you're done. Officer, push back to Charlie 7, advising that last minute 483. Ground, FedEx 1807 Heavy taxi to Foxtrot. FedEx 1807 Heavy, Portland Tower taxi to Echo 5, Echo, cross runway 28 left. Hold short of Mike and expect further instructions then. Okay, Echo 5, Echo, cross runway 28 left. Hold short of Mike. Ground number 36, let's push back to 10. FedEx 1807 Heavy, you can actually continue your taxi via Echo, then Alpha to runway 28 right. Echo Alpha 28 right, FedEx 1807 Heavy. Southwest 3063 Portland ground, pushback approved, expect runway 28 right. Push through 28 right. FedEx 1807 Heavy, verify information, go. Horizon 2147 Portland ground, safe parking. Horizon 2147, taxi via Alpha, Echo, Echo 2, Tango, then Bravo 3, Bravo, Tango to your gate. Alpha, Echo, Echo 2, Tango, Bravo. Thank you. Frontier flight 790 Portland ground, push back your discretion, expect runway 28 right.
Alright, we'll get ready to get our takeoff clearance and get underway here.
Alpha 78 left at Tango, contact ground point matter. RS-22, 37 Fulton Tower, wind 0706, runway 28 right, clear to left. And request that base report, please. Thank you. Southwest 63 Fulton Tower, runway 28 right, line of wind.
28 right, line up and wait, Southwest 3063. Kilo Lima, 5 miles from Moki, cross Moki at 4,000, cleared our nav runway 17 approach door.
It's a beautiful break out of the clouds there in the climb at 8,000 feet. Really nice. Still got some daylight out here, but a rainy departure, typical out of Portland. So climbing out of just approaching 9,000 on our way up to 16,000. It's a very short flight, so as soon as we get level, we're going to start getting in the arrival information into the MCDU and plan for the arrival into Seattle.
Yes, 477, forward approach, expect runway 28 right.
So maybe about 220, but we'll let you know when we go.
Activity vicinity airport. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Charlie. Seattle Tower 8 is information, Charlie. 0353.
2458, contact Seattle Center 135.45.
Wind 120.
3545, 2458.
Visibility 10. Light rain. Ceiling 1,200 broken. 2,600 broken. 10,000 overcast. Temperature 14. 2.13. Altimeter 2985. ILS. Runways 16 right and 16 left. Approach in use. Departing runway 16 left. Simultaneous approaches in use. Boeing Field Airport and Seattle Airport. Traffic below you on final. Notice glare emissions. Taxiway Sierra closed. 5G notice glare emissions in effect for Seattle Tower. Contact flight service station for more information. Bird activity vicinity airport. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Charlie.
Alright, so we got information, Charlie, up in Seattle. We're able to pick that up. Looks like we're going to be landing to the south as planned, 16 right, and 29.85 on the altimeter, so not much change there. Go ahead and get the arrival briefed into the MCDU, get that set up.
Seattle Center, descend via Hood 4, arrival landing west, from altimeter 29901. Flight 73, Seattle Center, descend via Hood 4, arrival landing west, Portland, altimeter 29901. Looks up to 3063, passing 10.6 for 15.
Southwest 363, Seattle Center, maintain, flight level 230.
Up to 230, Southwest 3063.
363 areas of moderate precipitation, 12 o'clock in the 15 miles, 25 miles diameter, tops are unknown.
Alright, I appreciate that. We're looking at it on the radar.
Lots of clouds, lots of bumps. Expect a little bit more of that on the descent as we get closer to Seattle. I'll probably be starting down about the next 5-10 minutes or so here.
Where's that?
FedEx 1807, Seattle Center, climb and maintain, flight level 230. For 653, understand your ABAN inbound this time.
We're inbound on the A9603.
693, roger, radar services terminated, Squawk VFR, change to Rapid Tower, frequency is approved, they're expecting you.
Squawk VFR, change of tower, A9603, thank you.
Okay. And via hood 4 arrival landing west, Portland altimeter 2991.
So we just went ahead and used the MCDU to get some updated descent winds for the way down so that the FMGC can have some good calculations for the descent. It's important, especially here, given the fact that we've got some quite strong quarter and tailwind here coming out of the southwest here at 56 or so knots. So that's a pretty good clip. Got a nice ground speed of about 340 knots across the ground, and that's going to turn into a direct tailwind here once we make the turn as we are now and head towards our top of descent. So good to have the descent winds in so that we get some good calculations. And as you can see, what just happened there was we were cruising at a much slower speed given our cost index of 5, and it now just crossed Hawks, which has a 12,000 or above and 270 knot speed restriction on it, and hence it has accelerated and thrusted up to that 270 target. So we're going to be good stewards on the FCU and go ahead and start our managed descent now by pushing the out knob, and we see the mode change from now speed descent out blue nav. So we're going to start the descent, be about 1,000 foot per minute until we re-establish the path, which is indicated by the green yo-yo here, and then the intercept barb that we see on the navigation display, which will show us where we're going to anticipate to capture the path back up again. But 1,000 foot per minute is what it'll do now until it gets to that intercept point, and this will get us into the idle thrust portion of the descent at that point, or somewhat further down. Also notice in the descent mode we get the econ speed range targets that show up. So the targeted speed is 270. We're coming up on Pikes now, which has a 250 knot crossing restriction, and you can see that with these target window we get a plus minus 20 knots above 10,000 feet. Once we get below 10,000 feet we get a minus 5 plus 20, just to avoid busting the 250 knot restriction. But this gives the econ descent performance and the managed speed a window in which it can operate in. So you can see now we've got 12,000 in, and we have our idle thrust. 250 is the target speed, but we can go below that. So don't be surprised if you pass a fix at a speed lower than what the crossing restriction is, because the flight management system will allow that. And as you can see by the window here with the econ speed range, we can go down as low as 230 knots at this point if it needed to do that to maintain the adherence to the path. So intercept points coming up, and then you'll see we'll have a descent continuation point here. So I'm going to go ahead and lower, just take it all the way down to 7,000, as I think that's one of our final altitudes we'll cross. 6,000 on the way down. So we'll continue to descent, monitor the descent from here. We'll just tighten up the view a little bit, go down to 20 knots so we can get a better view of things, and keep an eye on the descent. As you can see, we're starting to slow below that 250 knot target, and that's going to help us maintain our path, especially because we've got this tailwind. So that tailwind is going to keep pushing us along the ground speed, which is going to have us hitting our targets a little bit faster. So the airplane might slow a bit just to make sure that we can remain on target. Also go ahead at this point, guys, get our auto brakes armed. Low is enough for us here. We got plenty of runway at Seattle. If I needed to vacate a little bit earlier, we had some contaminated runways. We may do a medium, but low should be plenty of enough energy for us to get off at one of the high-speed turnoffs further down the runway. So we're in the clouds, and it's +9 on the TAT, and we're going to go ahead and get our engine anti-ice queued up for us, just given the conditions. So again, as you can see here, we're all the way down, hovering just above 230 knots, even though we had a crossing restriction of 250. The next restriction coming up is 230 knots. So again, we can be at or below that speed, but to maintain the path, we are at a speed slower than 250 knots, and that will keep everything nice and efficient for us. And you can see we've got a decel point coming up. And that wind's really beating us up here. Still pretty strong now. It's almost a direct crosswind here at about 40 knots. But we're still keeping good control of the path, good speed. We've passed nets at 230 knots, and that's the magenta target. But again, within the econ speed brackets, we've got that set, and we are below 10,000. So you can see the difference now, that you only get 5 knots slower and 20 knots, I'm sorry, 5 knots faster and 20 knots slower. So you can see the difference in the magenta target brackets here now that we're below 10,000 feet. Picking up some rain now. So we're going to go ahead and pull for speed of 210 knots, assuming ATC would have given us on the way, and maintain the track here, which they would have us do as well. Get a sequence for the ILS. So 210 selected now in speed mode. You see the blue target here indicating we're selected speed mode. We're holding altitude 6,000 feet. We're going to assume a descent down to 4,000 now, so we're going to go ahead and dial 4,000 in, and we'll pull, and we'll just do an open descent here down to 4,000 feet. See our level off point on the hockey stick on the navigation display with the blue hockey stick showing where we're going to level off. Mode has changed to open descent, and we're out blue. go ahead and arm the localizer information for us on the PFD. I see JL is what we got going on here, so we'll go ahead and bring that up just for yucks here on the
23 flighting at 250, speed 190. Okay, 905, maintain 8,000, base turn a minute. Back, we're off, that's going to maintain 3,200. Back, we're off, that's 3,200. 3,200.
And we're right at green dot speed now, so that's the recommended speed. That's our great, best liftover drag and single engine speed performance. So we're going to help the airplane out a little bit and give us config 1.
We're off, we're going to maintain 2,000.
Start our turn in towards the approach path now. And this is just assuming vectoring we'd be getting from ATC. I'm not getting any kind of guidance at all on this thing, just self-vectoring at this point.
Alaska 925 approach route. Plan on, you're not actually stand by on the runway. 925, you advise I got Alaska 905 on emergency.
Alright, and we're in the warmer air now, so ice is not detected on the engine room display, so we're going to go ahead and switch off our engine anti-ice. We don't need that on at this point. We'll continue to turn on around, and this is where we'd be anticipating approach vectors, you know, descend into an altitude and going direct to one of the initial approach fixes, either Bugny or Finca, typically on 16 right. So we'll go ahead and switch on around to about a 130 heading. And at this point in time, ATC will probably clear us down just like they did that earlier aircraft you heard, down to 3,200, so we'll do that. Switch over to the hundreds, and we'll just go ahead and pull again for an open descent down to 3,200 feet on a 130 heading to intercept.
23, final 133.65. Back cross, let's turn left, right, left, cross, left, 2000, clear your RNAV Zulu, straight in, 16 approach.
ATC is going to help us out a little bit more and give us a 150 heading to get us a little bit more line to Bugny. And we'll go ahead and arm the localizer so we can capture that for runway 16 right.
2445 approach Roger, looking for RNAV Yankee. Alright. 3847 approach, Roger. Alaska 905, turn right 270. Custom 852, speed 210 now.
So we've got localizer captured, the box is white lit up. So localizer's on, we're going to reduce speed to 180 knots now. We got a lot of traffic ahead of us. It's all AI, but we'll start slowing. And past the next flap speed is the equal sign that's barely seen at 200 knots.
Phone number is 206-214. Traffic.
We're going to go ahead and arm the approach, and we've got traffic. Hopefully that does create an RA for us, and we get a. I have to disconnect here if so. Okay, we're going to order up config 2. We're going to make sure that we got the approach armed. We'll go to the perf page, and it is armed because it's active now. We have a glide slope capture now.
Heading 250, final 133.65.
We're going to go ahead and start slowing the final approach speed at this point. And we'll go back to manage, and that'll put us into gear down at this point.
Delta 2852, flying at 240.
2,500. So now we're going to go to the ILS here, our nav display. And once we get 3 green on the gear, we'll go flaps 3, or config 3. Yeah, it's 3 green, config 3. Auto brake low is set. We're going to go arm our spoilers. See the airport ahead in sight. Approach lights are already coming into view, so we got a good visual now. If that maintains, we'll be good. A little bit of traffic around us here. I can see it off to the left. And we'll go ahead and auto up flaps full now. And now we're going to go quiet on the rest of the approach here. Enjoy the ride.
Delta 2852, speed 190. At 2445, so maintain 8 now. Go 3847. Above 90, contact departure 120.4.
120.4, Delta 1290.
Moscow 447, monitor tower 199, you'll be behind company head.
100 above.
Light slope. Light slope.
Minimum.
Light slope.
40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
It wasn't the greatest landing, but we got it down there. A little bit of a bounce on final with the wind, but got it down safely.
Delta 318, Center Tower, wind 11010, runway 16 right, clear to land. Right there, 2103, give way to the Alaska on Tango, hold short, runway 16 center.
Give way to the Alaska on Tango, hold short.
Right there, 2103, monitor tower 199. Last 227, Center Tower, wind 11011, runway 16 right, clear to land.
We're going to go ahead and end our stream here for the night. Test stream is over. Thanks for watching.